was the last time we talked? I feel like it's been forever. But I wanted to come on and talk to you about a few things. Um, so you want to be a graphic designer in 2026, huh? Okay. So you want to be a graphic designer in 2026, huh? Well, let's do this. All right. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about how I was able to get a graphic design job back in 2025 and how you can also get one in 2026. To give a little backstory, my name is Brianna. I'm a graphic designer and I've been in the industry since 2019, but overall have been a graphic designer since 2011. But I've been able to work on some really cool brands such as Coke. I've been able to work on other brands such as Verizon, American Express. So got a lot of background, a lot of history in advertising, and also to some in-house work as well. But I wanted to talk to you guys about how you can be able to get a graphic design job in 2026. It's gonna be, again, no frills, no secrets, anything like that. Just good old strategy, good old tips on how to be able to navigate to be able to get that graphic design job here in 2026. So first, I'll start off, of course, whenever you are working on getting a graphic design job, you definitely want to make sure that when you are looking for roles, that these roles are going to match your experience. Of course, there's nothing wrong with applying to jobs that are going to be more so on the mid-level role if you are entry level, but if you are going to be applying for design jobs, just be sure that whatever industry that design job is in, that it really matches the type of work that you want to do. You never want to be in a industry where you feel like really isn't your thing. You feel that, you may end up not liking the long run. So always choose an industry that you like whenever you are starting out with looking for jobs. But a couple places I like to look at when I am first applying for jobs, of course, is Indeed. I don't really look on LinkedIn anymore. When I was looking for a job back in 2025, after coming off a freelance kick for the last kind of like 2 years, I was looking into Indeed after I ended up getting after I got done taking my sabbatical. So I was looking into Indeed. LinkedIn, not so much. I feel like a lot of ghost jobs are on LinkedIn, so you don't really want to look into LinkedIn. Glassdoor, also the same. I feel like a lot of ghost jobs live on Glassdoor too. So if you are looking for jobs, Indeed has been my best bet. But also too, if you're looking into working at like corporate companies or different ad agencies in your area or even outside of your area, you can also look on their direct website, and you can also be able to apply on the direct website too. But whenever you are applying to the direct website, you have to be mindful of how your resume is built out, because places or websites like Workday, who've been known to discriminate and also to automatically reject resumes, are not capable of reading certain resumes. So if you are designing your resume, be mindful of how it is designed. When I designed out my resume, I ended up having it in a PDF format, so whenever hiring managers did look at it, they could be able to refer back to it just easily in a PDF. But definitely want to make sure that when you are designing your resume, it's clean. You want to make sure that the typography looks good. And when I'm talking about these jobs, I'm talking about graphic design jobs. If you're into things like UX, UX UI, if you're into things such as like motion, animation, this video is not the video that you want to look into as far as like finding certain jobs. But if you are looking for a graphic design job, then you definitely want to make sure that the typography and all that looks neat. Definitely want to make sure that whenever you are listing out your experience, be sure to list out the experience that you feel is the most relevant to you. You don't have to put that you worked at Trader Joe's when you were in school, because it doesn't really apply to the graphic design job that you're applying for. Now, you can always make several different resumes depending on what type of job that you're looking for, of course. I've always looked into graphic design jobs, but art director jobs can also apply to this as well. Just make sure that it's readable, your resume, and that whenever the hiring manager is able to access it, everything is legible and clean. Also, portfolios. I know a lot of juniors are always intimidated by the thought of a portfolio, but trust me, portfolios are going to be what is going to be your bread and butter, because your resume is kind of what gets you and you're like within that interview, right? That phone screen. But your portfolio is going to what kind of wins them over as far as like bringing you in for an in-person interview, or really just wanting to continue on. So, being able to know that whatever job that you do apply for, that whether it's a junior, mid, or senior role, that the type of work you do is also going to align with the type of work that they do at the agency or at that in-house company. Now, further down the line, I can talk about what's the difference between, an ad agency or the difference between working in-house. But for now, we'll just focus on overall, whenever you are working on your portfolio, or wherever you are submitting it, that portfolio really does align with the type of work that you want to do and the type of work that you have done in the past. Now, say for instance, if you don't have any experience at all, you can always make up your own projects. There are a lot of different websites that come up with like different briefs, a lot of different accounts on Instagram that come up with fun little like ideations that you can be able to put into your portfolio if you really don't have anything to put in your portfolio right now. But those are like some of my suggestions as far as like being able to get your foot in as far as like with that interview. But then also too, whenever you are say for instance you get that call back for wanting to do that phone screen, make sure that when you are doing whether it's a phone screen, an in-person interview, or a virtual, always just make sure that you're well prepared. Now again, I can go further down the line with that in a different video, but for now I'll say always make sure that you are well prepared when you are doing your interviews. So if you're doing a phone screen, make sure that you have a list of interview questions that you want to talk about. Because if you are doing an interview and the hiring manager says, "Do you have any questions for me at the end?" and you say no, that is a red flag to them. You always want to make sure that you have questions that you're going to ask them at the end, and you also want to make sure that whenever you are asking these questions, that the hiring manager is answering them to the best of their ability, so then that way you can gauge if this is the right role for you or not. But also too, whenever you are doing your in-person interviews, always make sure that you're dressing for success, of course, but just be yourself. Make sure that you're asking plenty of questions, and also too, be prepared to talk about your portfolio. A lot of people have issues with their interview because they don't know how to talk about the portfolio. You can record yourself, you can look at yourself in the mirror, but you have to be able to know how to talk about your portfolio. Not everybody is going to be the best speaker, but you do want to be able to know what you're talking about, and you do want to be able to have a sound, just like sound just relevant, just situations on like why you did what you did. So they're gonna say, okay, why did you make this design decision? And you just want to have rationale behind it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so these are some of the tips that I've been able to use. Actually, I've used all those tips that I've shared because like honestly, I know that right now it's really hard with trying to find a job in this industry, or just overall right now due to the economy. But I remember when I took my sabbatical back in 2023, I remember I just needed to take a break, and I knew that whenever I came back, I wanted to be well prepared for when I did go back to working full time. Now, it was a struggle, getting back into the industry, but I know I did it, and I knew that the things that I've shared has always worked tried and true for me, with being in the industry all these years. So, not everybody is going to be able to, take these tips and be able to always get it right the first time, but as long as you're practicing, like I said, practice in the mirror, you know, whenever you're talking about your work, you know, going on interviews, that helps too. Like, experience is the best teacher. So just being able to go on the interviews, being able to just talk to different hiring managers, that helps a lot when it comes to being able to score that job that you want. But also too, make sure you follow up. Some hiring managers don't like when people reach out to them after the interview, but me, for the most part, if it's been a job that I've always wanted, I always follow with the hiring manager. And anytime I do apply for a job, if I can, I try to find a hiring manager on LinkedIn. When I was using it, I don't use it much anymore, but I would find their direct email if I couldn't connect them on LinkedIn, or if the say for instance the recruiter didn't have their email CC'd onto the resume, I would find their email on the website and I thank them for their time. And then you know, if they respond back, that was like a great way to be able to keep the conversation going, because then you can also keep it going on, like, you know, asking the hiring manager what other type of projects that it'd be possible that I could be able to work on, or, you know, when do you see you know, this person coming into this role, like and all that. So just, they want to be able to know that you're interested in the role, so they can be able to make the right decisions too. Your portfolio and your resume is not the be all end all, because again, they want to be able to know that you got a good personality too. But taking that initiative and knowing that you do want this job, and you know, you're thanking the hiring manager for the time, really does make a difference. Now, some people may say, oh, that's dated, you don't have to thank hiring managers. Like, some people still like it, some people don't. But I know in the past, for me, most of the time, the hiring manager at the end of me were very, me, you know, reaching out, and I ended up getting the job. It always, it for the most part, always worked for me. That help you out on, you know, out how to gauge, you know, getting that right role, being able to do well in interviews, and just, like, it's not easy getting this for a long time. And you know, I just want to be able to show people that even though it's competitive in this field, there's plenty of room for all of us here. So keep going at it, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.